As a founder entrepreneur, do you find yourself doing things that you're not good at, don't enjoy, and aren't your highest and best use? Often what we find is that founder CEOs can find themselves buried in spreadsheet, managing cash flows, deep in developing complicated CRMs, and there's three things that are wrong with that. It's not what you're good at, it's not your highest and best use way to contribute to the organization, and it's not why you started the business. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can go from technician, the person doing everything, up to leader entrepreneur, the person leading and shaping everything, so you can contribute the most to the growth of your business. When an entrepreneur starts a business, they do so because they have a good understanding of a marketplace. They've got a good empathy for consumer. They've got a good understanding as to how they develop a product or a service to address that market demand or to address those consumer needs. And in the early years, seed stage, startup stage, it's that entrepreneurial hustle and that alchemy and the entrepreneurial intuition and innovation that drives the business's growth. However, we get to a point where the founder CEO finds themselves writing processes, buried in spreadsheets, trying to figure out complicated CRMs, managing cash flow, putting out fires each day, working on endless HR issues, right? The founder CEO is playing the role of operations manager at best or admin assistant at worst. Right? And the key here is that as the founder CEO, you get to a point where you need to stop being the person doing everything and start being the person leading everything. The key paradigm shift or realization that needs to occur here is that as an entrepreneur, you can be wearing up to 4 hats. And it's important that we enable you to elevate up out of the detail so that you can be in your area of highest and best use and ultimately be an impactful and effective CEO. So, what are the 4 hats that us as entrepreneurs can wear? Firstly, you can be wearing the hat of the technician. Now, the technician is the people or the person with the hands on the tools, right? The people or the person with the hands on the tools. We can be wearing the hat of the manager, which is the person or the people managing the people with their hands on the tools. We can be wearing the hat of the leader, which is very distinct from manager, right? Leadership is enabling people to be intrinsically motivated to perform. Leadership is enabling people to be intrinsically motivated to perform. It's very different from management. A lot of traditional business literature and thinking conflates the two, conflates leadership and management as if they're the same thing. They're not. They have nothing in common, other than the fact that there's people at the center of both of them. Other than that, they have nothing in common. Management is numbers, KPIs, project development, project management, performance management, accountabilities. It's the intellect stuff. Leadership is vision. Leadership is values. Leadership is how do your people feel. If management deals with the intellect, leadership deals with the heart. As entrepreneurs, we are generally speaking great leaders. Generally speaking, most of us, about 80% of us, aren't great managers. That's fine. We'll talk about how we overcome that in a moment. Or we can be wearing the hat of the entrepreneur. Now, wearing the hat of the entrepreneur is probably more diluted than what you might be thinking. Hat of the entrepreneur, solely the hat of the entrepreneur, is send me a board pack, CEO. 7 days before the board meeting, I'll review the board pack, I'll submit any agenda items, I'll submit any questions, I'll come to the board meeting, I'll help you with strategy, I'll help you with any challenges, I'll help mentor you. Other than that, if you need networks, call me. If you need capital, call me. Here are the keys, drive. Right? One of the things I love about this generation of business owners, and I don't say generation by age but by stage, the SMEs that are alive in the world right now, is that many of us don't want to just be wearing the hat of the entrepreneur. We actually want to be wearing the hat of the entrepreneur and the leader because we love what we do. We want to be involved in shaping the organization and leading the organization. And so the objective of this entire conversation and everything we do here at the Entourage is to enable you to spend 100% of your time here. Naturally speaking, you're probably a very good entrepreneur. Naturally speaking, you're probably quite a charismatic leader. Even if you're an introvert, charisma doesn't come in only one style, right? You're probably somebody people like to follow. Generally speaking, as entrepreneurs, we suck at this 80% of the time. 20% of you are good managers, 80% of us are not, right? Not our gig. And generally speaking, what we want to do is we want to build the structures in our organization. By structural, I mean is people and processes that enables us to spend 100% of our time here. However, when you've built the structure and earned the capability to spend 100% of your time here, I still encourage you to spend 5% of your time here. Now, why would I say that? I say that because it's important to remain connected to consumer, to remain connected to team, to remain connected to the ground level functions, and to remain connected to the business. But ultimately, going from business operator to business owner is a journey of building the people and the processes inherent in your ecosystem to enable you to do that only because you want to, not because you have to. Do 0% of that and do that 95% of the time. That's how you become a great entrepreneur. In a previous video, we've spoken about how every business only has 6 elements, right? We go out into market, we generate interest and attention, we call that marketing. That interest and attention comes through the door. At that point, it's our job to turn that interest and attention into a paid customer. We call that sales. We then need to deliver the products we've developed. So the third element is product development and delivery, or service development and delivery if you're a service-based business. We then need to operationalize as we're going up the growth curve. We call that operations. We then need to count and manage the money. We call that finance. And so that's really the only 5 things your business does. Then the 6th element is the lifeblood that brings those 5 functions together, called people, the heartbeat of your organization. And so if we combine these 2 concepts together, essentially you could be wearing one of 4 hats, and there are 6 elements to your business. So let's bring them together. In marketing, sales, product ops, finance, and people, are you wearing the hat of the technician? Or are you wearing the hat of the manager? And it might be different for different departments. Are you wearing the hat of the leader in each of these functions? Or have you built the structures quite well that you're actually wearing the hat of the entrepreneur in these 6 functions? If you want to find that out, imagine knowing exactly where you're strong and exactly where you're weak, and exactly how you can elevate yourself from being the person doing everything to the person leading and shaping everything. Imagine having an exact map for how to go from the bottom of the pyramid to the top of the pyramid so you can be a more effective CEO and actually contribute more to your organization while having a better lifestyle. What we've done here at the Entourage is we've taken the work we've done with over 250,000 entrepreneurs in generating over $1 billion in value from hundreds of different industries, helping businesses build teams of anything up to 250 team members. And we've taken the science of scale and distilled it down into a science. And we've called that science a new tool called the Business Growth Profile. Now, this is a diagnostic tool that you walk through answering a bunch of super simple questions. It takes no more than 15 minutes, and what you'll ultimately get is a step-by-step insight into how the world's greatest companies are built, and a step-by-step insight into where you're strong, where you're weak, and what the key areas of growth and the key areas of development are in your business, specifically as it pertains to going from technician to leader entrepreneur. That's what this game is all about. So this is some data that you can see from consulting companies at different stages of revenue. So this is real data from consulting companies in Australia, and on an aggregate, what does their business growth profile look like? You see consulting companies at 2.1, 4.5, 7 and 12.3. What you can see is as an organization grows, it's not just their revenues that grow, but you can see here that the structures of the organization build out and become more well-rounded. The intent here is simple, team. It's to become a well-rounded founder and CEO, developing a well-rounded, well-structured business that can scale beyond you sustainably. And so if you want your map and to know exactly where you are and exactly what to do next, click on the button around this video, fill out your business growth profile. It's absolutely free for now. Do that, get your map, and gain absolute clarity into your best next steps to go from technician to leader entrepreneur.